Well, he said, you know, you're a carpenter. He said, why don't you build one? I started just doing it. I think I bent the sides in the bathtub and I just kind of winged it on my own. I've known people that build instruments that actually treat it as a business, you know, and I've always just treated it as a hobby because that keeps it more fun.
If I can come to find.
Well, they're made to be played. Even if they play in their kitchen, you know, I feel just as good about them having it as somebody else that has a name or have CDs out there even. It's an addiction. The people that play and the people that make them, I think, is something that you've just got to do. And that's what gets me up in the morning.
I am so delighted to sit here with you today. You have been an inspiration of mine for a long time.
Hey, anybody that plays music is an inspiration.
I am really pleased to hear you say that. Now, you have been building musical instruments for how many years?
51.
51 years.
Yeah.
This is guitars and mandolins. How many guitars do you have out there today?
Well, I've made pretty close to 200 guitars and probably 160 some mandolins.
Is there a favorite?
Yeah, I think I like mandolin build. Well, I don't know, I like them both. It's pretty hard to say which kid do you like the best.
Okay, 51 years ago, what inspired you to start making instruments?
Well, I went with a friend of mine to, I think, Duluth. He bought a pretty nice guitar, and I was pretty much struggling financially and everything, and I was kind of bemoaning the fact that I couldn't buy one. And he said, you know, you're a carpenter. He said, why don't you build one? That was my trade. So I started just doing it, you know. I mean, I think I bent the sides in the bathtub and I just kind of winged it on my own. The first few guitars I built were classical guitars because that was my first love, you know, like Andre Segovia. And I figured after 5 or 6 guitars that there wasn't really a great market for classical guitars here. And so I started doing the steel strung guitars, you know, in different sizes.
When did you decide to get serious about it?
Well, I never really got that serious about it. I did maybe a couple of guitars every year for a bit, you know, until actually I kind of retired out of the carpenter business when I was 57. And then I started doing maybe 8 to 10 instruments a year.
What are your goals when you make one of these things?
I just try to make the best sounding one I can, and the playability too has to play into it, you know.
Do you have a favorite wood? Do you have a favorite size?
I like small parlor guitars, and I favor 12 fret guitars because I don't play up the neck that much, and the 12 fretter always seems to be more balanced to me. All the guitars aren't killer guitars as far as volume. The tone has to enter into that too. It's nice to have both, but a trade-off on either one is good.
And as a builder, are you capable of replicating exactly what you want every single time?
No, I can't make the same instrument time and again.
Now, this is a real tough question to ask a northern Minnesotan that has kind of Lutheran-like tendencies, but when you yourself are playing one of your instruments, how do you feel?
I guess I don't think about that really a lot. I just think it's a tool, you know, and if it works for you, why, it's a good tool.
What makes you happiest? Why have you continued to do this for 51 years?
It's an addiction. Really, I mean, the people that play and the people that make them, I think, is something that you've just got to do. And that's what gets me up in the morning.
Okay, the place where it happens. How many years you been working out here?
Out here, this shop is probably 35 years old. I've got some stuff here. These are mahogany. Well, this is This, I'm doing a model for a guy over in Duluth. This is Honduras rosewood, but he wants a 12 fret J45.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the ideal mahogany for a J45. I'm a wood hog.
Okay.
I just buy wood whenever I can find it. I probably got enough Indian rosewood for probably 150, 200 guitars.
Oh my gosh.
And then you got the ebony fingerboards and all kinds of stuff. And this is red spruce here, the Adirondack, like the old Martins had years ago. And this is a lot of Sitka spruce. That's nice old stuff. You have bear claw spruce, that's Sitka.
Mm-hmm.
Engelmann, I've used Engelmann for mandolin tops. Generally, your flat top guitars are always pretty much X-braced, and you can vary from that a bit. You know, I mean, you can use different combinations of that, but to start with, you should have a good X-brace. My son Billy is doing some necks here on his guitars.
Okay, so the kids have learned from the master, is that right?
Two of the boys are pretty much into building. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, show me some of your secrets here. What?
There's no secrets. Not really. You try to work your way out of a mess, I think, mostly.
Define that. What does that mean?
Well, that means you get a lot of stuff going, and then you have to work it all out. You know. So I've known people that build instruments that actually treat it as a business, you know, and I've always just treated it as a hobby, you know, just in because that keeps it more fun. A lot of stuff just changes through the years, and I see some of the other builders' peg heads that look good, and I'll maybe copy that a bit, or maybe stray from it a little bit, but keep it sort of if I like it. Like the old Gibson headstock is nice, and the Martin headstock is nice, and a lot of the people want their own inlay. They've laid out patterns and stuff, and I've copied that for them. Otherwise, like every year, if I'm just doing some and they don't care, I'll maybe put a little different inlay each year on an instrument. Maybe make a series of 4 or 5, and I'll put that same inlay in those 4 or 5 guitars for the year.
Cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. Only wanted to one time see you laughing. Only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain.
Let's do a guitar next. Now tell me, what is this guitar?
This is like a J45 model. It's got Honduras rosewood on the back and sides, and a red spruce top. That would be the Adirondack.
Only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain.
To call you a legend in the state of Minnesota, I know is probably going to embarrass you.
No.
In addition to your instrument building, you've done a lot from Abatma. You've made it possible for a lot of people to enter music.
I think the local people, even if they play in their kitchen, is just as important to me. I mean, as far as owning the instrument, you know, I feel just as good about them having it as somebody else that has a name or have CDs out there even.
There's a joy factor there that you can see.
Yeah, well, they're made to be played. It's no different than making a hammer, buying a hammer, you use it. You know, and that's what instruments are for.
Yeah, you call them tools, but tools bring joy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I know the times are changing. It's time to look for something new that means you too. You say you want a leader, but you can't make up your mind. Why don't you close it?